Okay, good evening, everyone. Good evening and welcome to another edition of Binance West Africa, Newbie walkthrough. So it's always a pleasure and always an exciting moment to share with you, share knowledge, and also interact with every one of you. And we always appreciate you for joining us every week at this time, every Thursday at 6 p.m. GMT. And we want to just specially thank you for joining us this far because I think this is the second month. I think is it no? Is it our third month? It's our third month. So it's always a great one to have you around. And we hope that we'll still continue to pass the knowledge that we've been passing. We'll be sharing together going forward. My name is Kazim, and with me today as my co-host is V. V, could you just give us some welcome words, please?
Yes, thank you, Kazim, for that introduction, and welcome everyone. You are most welcome to join us on today's newbie walkthrough. As Kazim said, it's been an exciting time so far, and we believe we've been learning a lot of things as we have been going on with the series. So today we are going to also learn very interesting things. So just stay tuned, follow the lessons, and we encourage you to go back to the lessons if you don't get anything. All right. So Kazim, that's all for me.
Yeah, great, great. And just like this said, it's always a nice one for you to go back to all our previous videos, and not just from the newbie walkthrough session. We have a lot of sections as well on the Binance Africa YouTube channel. Remember to subscribe to the YouTube channel and also check out the content from the newbie walkthrough to blockchain to Wednesday's program, and also weekly recap chat on Friday, and also some of the programs as well hold on our Telegram groups and on the Binance Africa Twitter spaces. So do well to join. And before we start, I would like to mention, just like we do every time, that whatever we say here, whatever we mention here, should never be taken as financial advice, but educational purposes. So today, I personally will be taking you through some basics of futures trading, just to introduce us to futures trading. And it's not going to be a very deep futures trading webinar today, but bridging the gap from spot trading that we have introduced you to before now. We've introduced you to spot trading. If you have not watched that series, please go back to check all we discussed on spot trading. So we're bridging the gap now between spot trading and moving you a bit into futures trading for you to understand everything about futures trading, and that could actually get you started before you go into it in full. Or you also have to note that futures trading is basically mostly for advanced traders, those who probably know what they are doing, and not just for you to FOMO or want to make quick profit, because it's always nice for you to see people post screenshots of big percentage winnings every day, but you want to take your time to learn the rudiment, learn everything you need to learn before you go into futures trading. Having said that, it is very important for me to give you the differences between spot trading and futures trading. There are specific differences between them. And just to put it in the right perspective, futures trading, crypto futures, they are basically just contracts that represent the value of a specific cryptocurrency. So it means that you do not own any cryptocurrency when you buy or a futures contract. So all you will own is a contract under which you have agreed to buy or sell a specific cryptocurrency at a later date. So comparing that with spot trading, as you know, is that you are able to buy and sell cryptocurrencies, such as BNB, Bitcoin, Ethereum, and so on and so forth, and you get it immediately in your spot wallet. Immediately your order is filled, you get in your spot wallet. So this means that you're getting a cryptocurrency, and cryptocurrency are directly transferred between market participants, which means if you are a buyer and you buy a specific cryptocurrency on spot in using spot trading, that means you get a cryptocurrency transferred to you from a particular seller to you as a buyer. So you have a direct ownership of cryptocurrencies when you participate in spot trading, which means immediately you buy a cryptocurrency on spot, you can transfer it to an external wallet or even to another exchange, or even you can use it to participate in any activity that is available for such a token, activities like staking or governance, or any other activity that may be available for such token for you to have bought it. So that's the major difference. But there are four major differences between crypto spot trading and crypto futures trading. So these four differences are the leverage, flexibility, liquidity, and the prices. So these are the four major differences between futures and spot. So how futures actually are not the same as spot trading. So the leverage is available in futures trade. So what leverage does is that it makes futures trading extremely capital efficient, which means you as a person or as a user on Binance, you could just have 10 USDT in your sports wallet, but you are able to buy a large amount of a particular contract with just a fraction of the money that you have in your of the asset that you have in your wallet. So you are able to open, let's say for instance, one Bitcoin futures position at a fraction of its market value, which is not really available on spot. So, for example, now you purchase one Bitcoin in the spot market. For you to be able to purchase one Bitcoin in the spot market, you have to have at least over 30 over 20 something thousand US dollar, which is the price for one Bitcoin at the moment. But if you're able to do, if you want to do that in crypto futures trading, you don't need up to that amount for you to purchase one Bitcoin contract due to the availability of leverage. Another thing futures trading provides is flexibility. And what that means is that you're able to go long or short. So you're able to ride the wave. You're able to make profit both in the upward direction or in the downward direction. So whatever direction the market is taking, either the market is going, it's dumping at the moment, you're able to still make profit. Or if it's going bullish, you're able to make profit in any direction. And that's the flexibility crypto futures trading provides to you. As well, liquidity in crypto futures trading, it runs into trillions of dollars in monthly volume. So there is very deep liquidity in futures trading, especially on Binance. So according to the figures, there is about 2 trillion US dollar in monthly turnover volume for crypto futures trading. So that's a very huge one, which means you're able to go in and go out at any point in time without having to worry about the liquidity availability. So the last major difference is the prices. If you have noticed before, if you have had the chance to visit to check out the futures trading page, you will notice there is a bit of difference between the prices quoted for assets on futures and what is available on the spot trading. So the prices are determined by buyers and sellers through an economic process which is called supply and demand. So in essence, the spot price is the ruling price for all transactions in the spot market, while the futures price now is based on the prevailing spot price. So the futures price, with the price you see in futures trading, is actually based on the price available on the spot market, plus the futures premium. There is something you call premium in futures, and the futures premium could be either positive or negative at any point in time. And that's to say that a positive premium, when you see a positive premium in futures trading, it indicates that the futures price is higher than the spot price at that moment. However, if the premium is negative, it indicates that the futures price of that asset is actually lower than the spot price at that moment. Now, I believe with that, we've been able to actually take us from spot trading into futures trading with that little explanation. But I would not also just go into futures without mentioning margin, because a lot of people, or let's just say a lot of newbies, probably mistake Binance margin for futures as well, because Binance margin also provides some things that are available in futures, such as leverage. But there are differences. So Binance margin trading, we have already talked about it in our previous classes as well, which you can also check in the previous videos that we have on the Binance Africa YouTube channel. So Binance margin trading is actually a method of trading a crypto asset via borrowing funds. So you use the funds provided by third parties for you to be able to increase your purchasing power, increase your exposure to a particular asset. That's what's obtainable on Binance margin. While a futures contract is an agreement to buy or sell the underlying asset at a predetermined price in the future. So what you are getting on Binance on futures is it's an agreement. You're buying it's an agreement for you to buy and sell. So it's like you're purchasing a contract, not an actual cryptocurrency. So we know that leverage is also available on margin, even collateral as well, because you have the cross margin and isolated margin on Binance margin. Now, with that, I want to believe you already understand the differences between spot trading, margin trading, and futures trading. But we've not really gone into what futures contract, what cryptocurrency futures is. You have the traditional futures contract and you have the cryptocurrency futures. So the futures contracts are basically an essential part of traditional finance. So it's available almost everywhere, and they are very high, they are very complex financial instruments that many advanced or technical investors, they use it. Investors like corporations and even governments, they use these derivatives such as futures contracts to protect their exposure to risk and volatility of asset prices. So it's very important for you to understand that the derivative is actually a financial contract that derives its value from an underlying asset. So the assets now could be commodities such as currencies, stocks, or even bonds. So that's why it's readily available in the traditional finance market and used by very huge investors, including government as well. So the contract can be traded over the counter or through an exchange. So it's obtainable almost everywhere in the world. But what is of utmost concern to us is the cryptocurrency futures. And in the crypto industry, the futures market is actually fast growing. So that's why we have very huge volumes being done on monthly basis. And like stock options or commodity futures contracts, crypto futures offer protection against volatility. So if you're worried about protection against volatility is one of such things that Binance actually puts into consideration every time when designing this product, making sure that users are protected at all times, and also preventing you from probably too exposed to risk. That's why a lot of features are actually available on Binance features as well to guide you on your decision making. So a crypto futures contract is also a proxy tool for investors to speculate on the future price of cryptocurrencies. Because all we want to do is to trade cryptocurrencies and also use the opportunity to predict what the future price could hold, and in the process make profits in multiples. So what are the benefits? If you're going to play in the cryptocurrency futures space, what are the benefits? I've mentioned before that there is flexibility, which helps you to trade in any direction. There is leverage, and there is huge liquidity available. And also, it helps you to diversify your portfolio. It's because you're able to diversify across trading strategies, which helps you to generate more profits. And you can develop sophisticated trading strategies, such as you're able to short or long, or even do arbitrage at any point in time, using any leverage that is available to you. So any non-crypto holders can actually speculate on the price of cryptocurrency and make quick profits. So you don't have to actually be actively trading as well. But if you understand the market and you know where you probably have an idea on where the market is heading to, you might use that information to your own advantage by just participating in future to take a position to probably short a dumping market or long a bullish market. So these are some of the benefits of trading in Binance futures. However, going further now, there are four basic products available in Binance futures, and I want to go over them and also explain to us the features that these products offer. So the four products are the USD margin futures contracts, the coin margin futures contracts, the Binance leverage tokens, and the Binance options. And the most popular ones in this list, I believe, is the USD margin futures contracts, the Binance leverage tokens, and the coin margin futures contracts. These are very popular, and I believe more people use them a lot, especially people that are not very experienced. A lot of people use this product very well. So what is the USD margin futures contracts? So in the USD futures margin contracts, so it supports perpetual and delivery contracts and settled in USDT or BUSD. So they are settled in stable coins, which are the USDT or BUSD. We're going to go into it just in a few seconds. The coin margin contracts, coin margin futures contract, just as the name implies, it supports perpetual and delivery contracts, and it's settled in cryptocurrency because you have a coin or a crypto token as the underlying asset. So whatever you get is settled in that cryptocurrency. While the Binance leverage token is almost similar to spot trading, but it's a product that allows users to gain increased exposure to a specific crypto asset without worrying about liquidation risk. So it's almost similar to spot trading because you're going to purchase a particular asset, a leverage tokens, which is let me say it's for a particular asset. Like you have BTC up, you have BTC down. So if you believe BTC price is going to probably go up in a particular market situation, you want to probably buy BTC up at that time and leverage on the token at that moment. and you're able to set your leverage as well. You could go for 3x and up to I think 4.25x available. And you have the Binance options, which makes options trading for retail users. It's in a simplified form, and it has a built-in leverage offered, so you can maximize your profits while minimizing downside risk. But for now, I'm going to look into the USD margin futures contracts, the coin margin futures contracts, and also the Binance leveraged tokens, which I'm also going to show us how to navigate them and how to get to the contracts on the Binance.com website. So the first one we want to look at is the USD margin futures and coin margin futures contracts. Now, having gotten to this stage now, how do we get to the futures stage? How do you actually get to the futures trading page? On your mobile app, it's easily navigated. On the home page, you can easily go to the futures trading page by just tapping on futures and on the bottom navigation bar. While on the Binance.com website, you can tap on the derivatives tab and derivatives menu. Then you have the USD margin futures here or the coin margin futures here. As well, you have the leverage tokens listed here as well. So you can tap any of the three here to go to the trading page directly. Or you can just visit the futures homepage, which you can access via the Binance.com/en/futures. The same way it takes you to the futures page on the mobile app when you tap on futures on the bottom navigation bar. So here we're able to just go to any of the trading area that we choose to trade in. If I have a stable coin in my account, I have USDT or BUSD, I probably want to trade USD margin futures at that time. But if I have an asset, let's say BNB, ETH, or BTC, that I probably want to trade coin margin futures, maybe I want to grow my portfolio, I want to ride the wave, maybe the market is in a bullish one, while I'm making returns, I'm also increasing the amount of my crypto asset at that time. So different people use them for different reasons. So what is USD margin futures? We're also going to look at the coin margin futures in a bit detail. So Binance offers both the USD margin futures and the coin margin futures, as we can see on the futures homepage. So in coin margin futures contracts, your settlement is in cryptocurrency. So it means that the contracts are denominated and settled in the underlying cryptocurrency. So it eliminates the need to hold stable coins as collateral. So you don't need to hold any stable coins in your futures contract, if in your futures wallet, if you are participating in the coin margin futures contracts. You don't need to hold any stable coins as collateral. So you're also able to get contract multiplier. So what contract multiplier represents is the value of a contract. For instance, each BTC futures contract represents 100 USD. So while ETH futures contract represents 10 USD. So on and so forth. So, and the expiration now on the coin margin futures contract, you have the expiration, you have the perpetual, the quarterly, and bi-quarterly. We're going to look at what this means in detail very soon. Now, that's for coin margin futures contract. On USD margin futures contract, as mentioned earlier, your settlement is in USD pegged assets. And in this case, it's the USDT or the BUSD. And you have only two types of expiration times, the perpetual or the quarterly expiration. And there are also pricing rules for the different contracts available. So you have for a single contract, which is known as contract unit. For instance, the BTC USDT, ETH USDT futures contract, they represent only one unit of their respective base asset, which is similar to what is obtainable in spot market. Now, but you want to now ask, what are the advantages of these futures contracts? For margin contracts, one of the advantages is this. The coin margin contracts are denominated in your settled in cryptocurrency. So which means if you trade on coin margin futures contracts and you make profit, your profit is settled in the underlying asset, which is the cryptocurrency. For instance, you trade BNB USDT perpetual contract and you make profit of, let's say, 1 BNB. So the 1 BNB is added to your BNB value, to your BNB holdings. So which means you get more BNB. And if the price of the asset also increases at that moment, you also get more returns, more profits at that time. So for it's always good, for miners, people who mine cryptocurrency, they usually prefer to trade or to trade in coin margin contracts most of the time, because it helps them to actually play against volatility and also get more of their crypto asset that they're holding at that moment. And another benefit is that you can also hedge your positions in futures market without converting any of the holdings into USDT. So you want to trade in coin margin contract, you don't have to exchange your asset into USDT or BUSD, because your settlement will be in your cryptocurrency and at the current price of that asset at that time. So how do you do this? All you have to do is you open any position. If the market is dumping at that moment and you have your asset in your spot wallet and you believe, okay, if the market just dumps with this in the current situation now, it means the value of your asset, the USD value of your asset, is going to drop at that time. But if you're able to open a coin margin position at that moment, and you open a short sell position at that moment, while the market is dumping, you're actually getting more of your crypto assets. So by the time you exit that position, you have more of the assets, and by the time the market recovers, you have more assets and also more USD value of your assets. So it's always a great one for you to actually make more profit and also still get more of your assets at any point in time. So for USD margin contracts, which we said that the settlement is always in stable coins, the USDT or BUSD. So they are referred to as linear futures because they are quoted and settled in USDT or BUSD. And one of the key benefits is that you can easily calculate your returns in fiat. And why you can easily calculate your returns in fiat is that when it's a fact. It's a fact that BUSD or USDT are USD pegged, and their value is almost one, or let me say closely to $1 at every point in time. So if you make 500 USD BUSD profit, you are convinced that okay, you've made about $500 profit since the value of BUSD is closely to $1. Another benefit is that the settlement currency, just as BUSD or USDT, they're universal. Yeah, they're universal and available almost everywhere. So it helps you. It gives you more flexibility. And it eliminates the need to buy the underlying coin. So which means you don't have to buy BNB or BU or BTC or Ethereum because you want to trade on USD margin contracts. You only have to have your BUSD in your futures wallet or USDT at any point in time for you to trade USD margin contracts. And in periods of high volatility, when volatility is very high, USD margin contracts can help you reduce the risk of the risk of large price swings. So if there is high volatility, you are sure that okay, BUSD or USD are pegged to the US dollar, so it can actually manage the volatility very well. So you don't need to actually worry about hedging the underlying collateral exposure. So you don't need to worry about them saying, okay, this is BTC or this is BNB. You don't have to worry too much about the volatility at that time. So now we know the difference between coin margin and USD margin. So now, before we move forward, let's see how coin margin or USD margin actually looks like. So what we'll do now is let's go to check out USD margin futures first by tapping on trade now on the futures page that is available on binance.com/en/futures, or just tap on the derivatives menu here and go to USD margin futures to access the USD margin futures page. Okay, just a minute for it to load properly. Okay, now this is the USD margin. Let's just the futures because from this page you can access both coin margin futures and USD margin futures as it's obtainable on the menu here. You can access the USD margin contracts here or the coin margin contracts here as well. So when you are selecting the contract you wish to trade, you can just come here at this point where the BTC USD perpetual is written. Check here to select any contract that you wish to trade at that moment. You can also toggle between coin margin and USD margin contract here. So if I tap on coin margin contract here, then I'm able to choose any of the available contracts under the coin margin futures contracts. So now, first we want to check out the USD margin contracts. So now we are on BTC USDT perpetual contracts. So perpetual in this means that there is no expiration time. You can hold till any time you want, unless you are liquidated. As long as you're not liquidated, you can hold the contract for as long as you want. There is no expiration. We know we have the quarterly, you have the quarterly delivery, and also some custom dates are available. So these are the perpetual contracts available for you to choose from. Same way on the coin margin contract, where we have the quarterly and you have the perpetual delivery as well. And also you can check the availability here as well. So you have USDT perpetual and the BUSD perpetual. So now we're checking out the BTC USDT perpetual. Or just like spot trading as well, you have the chart area, you have the chart, but some little differences, because here at the top we have the funding rate and the countdown to the next funding rate. We're going to talk about the funding rate very soon, because the funding rate is very important as well for you to take note when you want to trade in futures contract. The funding rate is updated every 8 hours, and that's why you have a countdown here as well, telling you the remaining time to the next funding rate. So you have the order book as well, just like your spot trading, and also completed trades here below the order book. And the same way with spot trading, you have the order area where you place your order. Okay, let me try and log in. I'm sorry, I should have done that before now. Let me try and log in and see, to have a more outlook on. Oh, see, okay. A minute, please. Okay, so now I think we should be logged in just in a moment. Okay. All right. Okay. So if you already know how to trade on spot, you already know how to place an order on spot. So the only little difference you have to learn now on futures is that on futures there is something called leverage. So you have to be very, very sure of the leverage you're using, and also stay within allowed range, and also don't be too exposed to the risk, because if you use a very high leverage, you are increasing your chance of getting liquidated easily. Okay, so if you're opening the futures page for the first time, you are presented with some survey to fill, because I have opened it before now, so I'm not presented with that. And also, it is very important to note that you can also get mock trading for futures on your mobile app and also the web version. So you can just tap on more on the mobile app homepage to access the mock trading. So it gives you some trial funds, just demo funds, to learn and practice trading before you go into the real trading. So now, as I was explaining, you have the order area for you to place an order, and you have the cross or the isolated. So for the cross mode, if you use the cross mode while trading, it means that when you have any assets available in your futures wallet, and your margin, your opened order, your position now is already getting almost to your liquidation point, it also uses part of your available asset here to maintain that margin at that moment. So when you're placing an order on futures, you have to be very careful and know the leverage you're using. Here I have 15x set here. So, but for me to actually manage my risk, I would not want to go above 10x. I want to stay within 10x. I want to stay within 10x. And so you are able to adjust your leverage here, adjust your leverage and confirm. So now I'm confirming that I want to use 8x instead of the 15x. So now I don't have any asset here. For you to be able to trade, you have to transfer asset here, which you can do by just tapping on this double arrow button here. Then transfer assets from any of your wallets into your USD margin futures. Could be your cross margin or from isolated margin from your spot wallet, and you have to transfer USDT if you are trading on the USDT perpetual. But if you're trading on the BUSD perpetual, then you have to transfer in your BUSD in order to trade. Okay, so I know time is a bit against me in order to allow my co-host take on. So there is not enough time for us to take a lot today, but this is what is obtainable on the futures page. Same way, if you're trading on the coin margin, it's almost the same thing, but the only difference is that the settlement and quotes, it's always in an underlying asset. So for instance, you have the BTC USD perpetual on coin margin. So it means that for you to actually trade the coin margin contract, then you have to transfer BTC. For the BTC USD perpetual, you have to transfer BTC into your futures wallet, your coin margin futures wallet, for you to be able to trade the BTC USD perpetual, because it is coin margin and it is coded and settled in BTC at that moment. If it's another crypto asset, let's say BNB, under the coin margin, let's say BNB, let me search for BNB. Rather, so let me search for BNB. So it could be BNB, BNB USD perpetual. It means I have to transfer in BNB into the futures wallet to be able to trade the futures, the coin margin futures contract at that time. And also remember, when you are placing any order on futures, remember to use the take profit or stop loss, action, so that when you place your order, you have two orders placed for you, both the order to buy, then the order to actually take profit or stop your loss if the market is going against your direction. If you open a long position and unfortunately the market goes in a downward position and dumps, you're able to manage your risk and take out your asset before it goes too much and probably gets liquidated. So always remember to use the take profit and stop loss action when you're placing your order. So if you're buying long or selling short, if you're buying long, it means you want to, if let's say an asset price is here and you want to ride you believe it's going in a bullish direction, then you can open a long position. All you have to do is enter the price at which you want to buy. And just like I mentioned, the contract unit for BTC, one contract equals to 100 USD. But for BNB here now, one contract equals to 10 US dollar. So if you place an order to buy 100 US dollar, it means you're buying 10 contract units at that time. So you're also able to use the price buy here to switch between, if you're using 100% of your fund or 50% or any percent, then you open your position at that. Just a quick illustration. So I transferred some few BNB into this wallet now. So I'm transferring some BNB into the wallet. So I have a BNB here now. So I could decide to use 100% of my BNB. So let's say I want to short, and I say, okay, when BNB gets to 290 US dollar, I want to short BNB at that time. So I want to take profit. I'll take profit at, let's say, 250. So if it dumps to 250, and I want to stop my loss at, let's say, 300. So it's always good to use stop loss and take profit. So if I sell, click sell short. Okay, sorry. So let me use. Okay, I have 10 US dollar. Okay, what I sent, the BNB I sent is not up to 10 US dollar, which means I'm not able to buy any contract, because one contract equals to 10 US dollar at that time. So please, I would like to stop here to allow my co-host V to take us on the next presentation. So we'll continue further from next week. We'll still go deeper and do more illustration and also more topics to come next week. So thank you very much. V, please, over to you.
All right, that was really insightful. Thank you very much, Kaz, for this introduction into futures. Yeah, so today we are looking at two separate things, right? So Kaz has taken trading, yeah, and I believe that we've been able to have a little grasp of that. So we are moving on to the next thing. We'll be looking at crypto recurring investments on Binance. So this is a really interesting feature on Binance that enables even experienced traders to their trading journey. So I'm going to go into that really soon. But when we look at the crypto recurring investments on Binance, we have two main features. So we have the recurring buy, and then we have the auto investments. But for today, because of time, we will not be able to look at the auto investment, to be going into the recurring buy function. So let's look at the recurring buy. So what is the Binance recurring buy? So I have some slides to aid us. So we say the recurring buy function on Binance helps users to save themselves the extra work of making purchases manually over time by setting automatic cryptocurrency purchases. So basically, what the recurring buy does is it basically helps you to automatically make purchases, right? Crypto purchases that you want to buy. We know that life really gets busy, right? So you may want to buy crypto and you may forget, or you may want to time the markets and all that. I'll get into that very soon. So this recurring buy just automates the process for you. It saves you any hassle of maybe manually making purchases, right? So it incorporates something interesting, and that is something that is well known in the space if you have been in the space for long, and that is the dollar cost averaging strategy. So it basically helps you gain steady growth over a consistent and regular investing. So dollar cost averaging, as we know, is just buying specific amounts of any asset, right, in specific intervals. Now this is so important because it saves you the stress of wanting to time the market, right? People always want to time the market. You hear questions like, is this the bottom? How high can we go? And stuff like that. But the thing is that nobody can actually perfectly time the market, right? Nobody can tell you tomorrow at 8 a.m. GMT, the price of BNP is going to be at this. Nobody can actually do that. So one of the most great ways to help you in this journey is DCA, dollar cost averaging. Okay, so please still go to the previous one. We are still on the previous one. Cars, yeah. So it incorporates the strategy of DCA. Now let's take this scenario. Imagine the price of an asset, say let's say BNB, right? It's at, let me just assume that today it's at $500, right? Then you want to invest, right? So you have $1,000 and you want to invest $1,000. Then you just, make a huge purchase at once, $1,000, giving you two units of BNB, right? Now you come tomorrow and then you see that the price of BNB has been dipping. It goes maybe 480, it goes to 470, it goes to 300 and all. You would see that on the long run, you are going to lose so much value because you bought everything at once. But if you decided to buy it in little chunks, you decided to buy it $100 maybe every day or every week, you realize that in the end you are going to have it's going to smoothing out, right? So your buys are give you the huge volatilities. So that is what DCA does. And then the recurring buy on Binance actually uses the DCA strategy. So it reduces the impact of the market volatility. It lowers the risk of purchasing at a less ideal time, right? Just like the example I gave you. And once you have DCA, you see that there is going to be steady growth in your crypto portfolio through long-term appreciation. So in the long term, you are actually going to see that the strategy is going to smoothen your average buys, the price at which you buy. All right, so that is really, really important. And as I said early on, life gets busy. So if you have these automatic purchases, it's going to really help. You have so many advantages. We're going to go into the advantages soon. So next we can go to the advantages. So the next slide. All right, so on the next slide, we have the benefits of the recurring buy, right? So basically, the concept of recurring buy is that, this feature allows you to automatically purchase, assets. So either stable coins or other cryptos that are available using card, right? So right now it's card purchases that are available. So, and then we are basically going to look at the advantages. So the first is a steady portfolio growth. Now, because of this here, I've explained, you are the liberty to invest money regularly at regular intervals, just opposing it as doing it at once. So whatever the market climate is, whether the market is up or down, it will just help smooth out any price swings that may occur. So you have consistent investments in periodic intervals. And over time, you actually see that your portfolio is growing steadily, right? Because no matter the market climate, you have a steady, plan of buying, And in the long run, you're going to really see a very nice and steady growth in your portfolio. So that's one of the benefits. The next benefit is that there's a lot of convenience and flexibility. Okay, so because of their automated, purchases as against manual purchases, you can choose between buying maybe weekly, maybe bi-weekly, monthly, and then you can choose the kind of cryptocurrencies that you even want to buy beforehand, right? So as we see, Binance, this recurring buy feature supports 50 plus cryptocurrencies, right? And also every bi-week, Binance adds new listings to it, so keeps expanding, the assets that can support this recurring buy feature. So that's the second one, convenience and flexibility. It's really convenient. You will not forget, or when life gets busy, Binance recurring buy has you covered, right? The next thing is discipline savings. I know that many people have decided to save their money on cryptocurrencies, but life happens. So you certain things will come up, and then you find yourself using the money for other things. But with this particular recurring buy, because it's automated, you just set and forget, right? So you are able to have a disciplined savings plan, versus you having to maybe out of pocket every month to buy cryptocurrencies. But when you have this recurring buys, it covers it for you, right? So these are some advantages. Of course, there are some disadvantages that probably if you wanted to, maybe I was just talking about the fact that the prices may dip. But what if we had, a bull run? So you might have bought at once and then benefit had more profits, than buying little. So that is the other side of it. But if you are in for the long term, if you want to have a long-term perspective, you want to save yourself the hassle of timing the market, you want to save yourself the hassle of, and this is one very interesting thing. Let me add this, that in a bear market, the DCA strategy is a winning one, right? So it's a winning one because instead of folding your arms and saying, okay, I'm waiting for it to dip further, just for you to wake up the next day and it's gone up, save yourself all those emotional stress and attachments. You just have your DCA plan and it's going to help you. All right, so next slide. So you're going to basically look at how do we go through this recurring buy, right? How do we, so it's just a 5-step process and we are going to actually go through the process. So Kazim, you are going to be my assistant on this one because I'm going to use your screen so that we can go through it together. So the first is you just choose the crypto and then you enable the recurring buy. So that's the first one. Let me just go through it quickly before you switch, Kazim. So the second one is you select your preferred, fiat currency. So basically, you are actually doing these purchases with fiat, right? And specifically, either you're using a MasterCard or you're using a Visa card. Then you set up the frequency. So you have the luxury to set up how frequent this buy should be. Then you can also select the payment method, as I've said already, that is the MasterCard or the Visa card. Then you can confirm your order details. So very, very simple procedure. All right. So let's begin. Kaz, we could use your screen. We can go to Binance since you're already logged in. All right. So right on Binance, so on the home page, right, you can go to buy crypto, right? When you go to buy crypto, you are going to see the credit and the debit card. Perfect. So you click on the credit and the debit card. So when you click on that, it's going to load up nicely. So you have your nice interface that you have the buy and the sell. But since we are focusing on buys, now you scroll down and you're going to see beneath there, before you see the continue button, you see recurring buy over there. And they have actually given us a very nice statistic that recurring buy BTC for 3 years got 25% ROI. It means that if you're doing recurring buys for 3 years on BTC, you'll be sitting on 25% ROI now, right? So let's click on that recurring buy button so that it gives us, the interface, right? So I think it's just taking some time to load. All right. So as I said, Binance is always user-friendly, giving you guides and tips. So now this is a recurring buy view, right? So you can actually create a plan. So on top there, we have saving $100 in Bitcoin per week over the last 3 years turned 15,700 into 43,188. That is the power of DCA, and Binance has automated the DCA process into the recurring buy feature. So let's whichever assets that you want. So you can see select assets. So you can choose from USD to, so that's in NGN right now. So you can actually select USD if you want. You can select the CD if you want. So USD into the asset you want to actually be buying recurrently. So when you click on it, and you see that there are so many options. We have over 50 options here that you can choose, right? So whatever particular asset you want to be buying recurrently, you can do that. Then we move down, you see the amount. We have the limit from $15 and above, right? So you can actually buy from $15 and above, whatever amount you want to buy. So if it is $100, $50, $70, you just input that in there. Now going down, that is where you have the chance to set the frequency, right? So when you click on that, yes, kindly click on that. Now you have the frequency. You can either choose daily, weekly, bi-weekly, or monthly. You can, so if you choose daily, for example, let's use daily as an example. When you click on daily, yeah, it gives you the time. So actually you are able to play it till the letter. You can actually choose the time you want this to be done. When you choose weekly, right? So because it's once a week, it's weekly, you can either choose any day in the week and the corresponding time. If it is bi-weekly, you can actually choose the days too, and then the time. And if it is monthly, you can actually choose the day of that particular month, and it's going to be buying recurrently for you. So that is it. So, and we click. So, okay, Cass, can you just input something so that we just test it? We are actually not going to do any actual buying, but we just want to test it and continue. All right, so Cass is inputting. All right, so when you get to this stage, as I said, you'll be told to add a card to it. So now in adding a card, you have 5 cards. You can actually add up to 5 cards. Okay, so if you actually want to remove any card, they will actually ask you if the card you want to remove is already on a plan, right? If it's on a plan, you'll be asked to cancel the plan before you can actually delete the card. So you have the opportunity to add up to 5 cards to it, and then go through the process. So if you are interested in this, we are not going to do a live demonstration here, but I believe where we have gotten to is quite understandable for you to continue. So just add the cards, ask for your name and then details, and add the card, and you can continue making your purchases. So that is how the recurring buys work. And of course there are fees. Okay, so the card purchases come with fees. So that's the fee that you're going to incur. There are no special fees anywhere or additional fees for using this. The fees that you're going to pay are the fees that you incur as a result of the card purchases. Right. Now, anytime you try to buy and then the transaction fails, all you have to do is to accept the new, because every time there's a new price quotation, so you need to accept the new price quotation, or you can just decide to cancel the entire transaction, and then you would recurring buy actually works, right? So that is, you can create a plan and you can actually manage your plan. So if you want to check your plans, Kaz, can you go to wallet at the top there? Can you go to wallets? Okay, not sorry, orders. Then you move to buy crypto history, orders, then move to buy. So that is how you check your plans, and then you can actually edit any plan that you have, right? So I know Cass may not have a plan, so yet, so but we can just look at it. So on top you can see buy, you can say recurring buy. So Cass, kindly click on recurring buy. When you click on that, you're going to see all the recurring buy plans that you have. And at this point, you can actually choose to either cancel any plan. You can choose to edit it. Maybe you can edit the frequency or the amount or whatever. It's really, really flexible. You can also choose to pause you can actually choose to also pause any plan that you have. So that's how it works. It's very, very simple to set up a recurring buy. You just set it up, and then once you do the first one, it continually does so for you. And the advantages is the fact that it saves you the hassle of trying to manually buy or trying to time the market, and you detach yourself emotionally from it, because sometimes when you see the price of the asset, you be like, no, I don't want to buy now. But since you have a plan, this recurring buy makes your purchases automated, and that makes things really, really easy. Now, if there's a little time, let's go back to buy crypto and go back to debit card. I mean, the interface. I just want to show the auto invest, how the auto invest also works. All right, so when you click, let's go to the recurring buy. Kindly click on the recurring buy. We may not go deeply into that, but I just want to mention it since we have some little more time. So at the top there, you realize that we have auto invest with stable coin beside. Yeah, all right, so auto invest. So when you click on auto invest with stable coin, yes, I think let's give it a little bit of time to load. So here it's just like the recurring buy, but this time around you don't only buy, but the beauty of this particular one, right? So it's just like it's also a feature of the recurring buys, but there's a little infusion in there where you have the opportunity to automate your crypto investments and earn passive income. So it is still dollar cost averaging. You choose whatever cryptocurrencies you want to purchase, whether daily, weekly, or whatever. But anytime you purchase them, for example, if it's BNB you are purchasing, these BNB will be automatically deposited in your BNB vault. Now, any other crypto purchase will be deposited in your with your investments. So that is it. The little twist with it is that it is actually going to do the investing for you. So you can also go through the same process, just as you have seen the interface. There are so many assets there. You can actually create a plan and then proceed with that. Right, so that is basically with the recurring buy. So let's just try BNB. So create a plan. So let's create a plan. So yes, so the interface comes in, the amount you want to buy, with the frequency. Okay, you can also choose the frequency, and then it shows you the earning and everything, just like that. Okay, so the auto invest, maybe in another in another tutorial or in another Newbie walkthrough, you go deep into the auto invest, all the various products there, their APRs, and every single thing that you need to know. But for today, our focus was on the recurring buy, how to manage your orders, and everything that comes with it. So yeah, this is the end of the recurring buy presentation, right? So Kaz, I don't know if you have anything to add up, then we can look at questions that might have come. Thank you very much for the assistance, Kaz.
Oh, no. Thank you very much, V. So it's really, really a great one. Okay, so I think there are questions here. Okay, so before we move ahead as well, we forgot to mention that please remember to fill the giveaway form for a chance to share in the free 100 BUS dollar that is available for you to win during this webinar. We know our previous winners have already been settled in their wallet, so please remember to fill the giveaway form for a chance to actually be selected as well. Okay, so let me try and see if there are questions here for you. Okay. It seems that we don't have much question here. Okay, so just comments here about it. But you were mentioned that I don't have a recording by. Well, there's a reason for that, because in our country, in Nigeria currently, there is a restriction on banks to participate in cryptocurrency. So we cannot use any Nigerian card or bank card to purchase cryptocurrency anywhere. So that's why I'm not able to have my card currently, and I don't have
Yeah,
access to it. So that's one of the reasons. So, but I do
yeah,
DCA
I
in
totally
another
get
way
it.
on spot. So, like, because someone is saying that shots fired, so it seems like you fired the shot. So it's cool. It's cool. So thank you. So I don't know. You have probably more comments you want to give before we round up fully.
Okay, so just as you have mentioned, yeah, we have the giveaway form, and I believe our viewers should be happy now because at least they have been given their giveaways and they should be
Yeah,
smiling by now. So you should have
exactly.
more confidence in participating in our weekly newbie walkthroughs. They are really informative. I mean, look at the intro into futures. I really enjoyed the session, and then you have also learned about the carry buys, right? So we have all these available. I'm just trying to look in there. Okay, so just comments that we are having. Maybe let's read the comments. Let's go through our comments. So we
Okay.
have okay, Mr. Anak says Nigerian government banned us from purchasing crypto with our cards. Only P2P is
Yeah.
our option. Right. At least P2P is a savior. Right. And then
Yeah.
Binance Africa should be sharing YouTube on Twitter for people to subscribe. Okay. All right. Thank you. Then the shots fired. And
Thank
then
you
the
for that.
last, how much is minimum amount for recurring buy? So as I showed, it was $15, right? If you're using the USD, it's $15
Yeah.
and above. Exactly. And then can we pay using savings
Yes.
account in
Yes.
South Africa? I don't really get the question so well. I don't know, Kaz, you understand?
From what I understand about that, probably the person is saying, can they use probably a card that is attached to savings account in South
Okay,
Africa?
yes, perfectly, perfectly. So yeah, if once your card, it depends on whichever card now, because not all banks card works on, crypto websites, right? So you should check and see if your card actually works before
Works.
you can do that. We know crypto is still growing in Africa,
Yeah.
and we have different regulatory things in different countries. Some countries, I've just said, it's not legal tender. Some countries have said it's legal tender. So just check and see if you are actually allowed, then we can move on with that. All right. So,
Yeah.
as we have just a few minutes, if you would
Yeah,
like
so
to
it's
add
it's always
anything.
it's always it's always important to be up to date about the restriction or the regulatory framework available in your country or where you're resident. So you be very up to date about that before you go ahead to use your card, so that you don't get into any issue at all. So also, it's I want to mention that, please, one of the encouragement that we need from you is to share the Binance YouTube link with your friends, and let them know that there is content being provided on Binance Africa YouTube channel every day. It's every day and every week. So such that you can learn from, and also, even if you are someone who has a community, always encourage your community members to join the live stream or to watch the previous video to learn more about Binance and also the crypto ecosystem at large. So please, it's always going to be great for you to share the link with your friends and families to learn about crypto. And remember to join the Telegram communities, Binance Nigeria, Telegram community at Binance Nigeria. Binance Ghana is at Binance GH Binance. And also, please look out for more information on Binance Africa Twitter and remember to stay up to date with Binance announcement channel and different announcement channels are available on the Telegram communities. And remember that everything we discussed here is not and never should be taken as financial advice, but for educational purposes. But we'll be happy every time to assist you with any issue you have with Binance products or crypto as a whole. That's why it's always good to be in the community to ask your questions and be attended to by any of the Binance angels available. So my name is Kazim, and I think it's a wrap for today. So V, over to you, please.
Yeah. It's a wrap. And just as Kazim mentioned, do join the community. Said I want to recommend the Binance Academy. The academy has tons and tons and tons of resources for
Really?
you, right? Right from beginner to intermediate. So anytime you have a session, you can go back to watch the session, go and find relevant information on the Binance Academy, because it's actually going
Exactly.
to transform you from a newbie to a very top-notch crypto
Yeah,
professional, right? It has the
yeah.
tendency to do that. So kindly ensure that you are always checking up on resources. And then feel free to interact with the angels if you need any assistance and also the support. And do not listen to anyone who says it's a customer support or anything of that sort, or share any
Mm.
details with them. All right. So my name is Essential. You can find me on or V, right? So V is the most popular. You can find me on Twitter at Film Otho, right? So Kazim, finally.
All right, thank you. So my name is Kazim. You can find me on Twitter at Seiduke_official. So it depends if you
All
know how to
right.
spell that. If you don't know how to spell that, just find me on Telegram on Binance Nigeria at Kaz Binance. So thank you very
All
much.
right.
See you next week on Thursday at 6 p.m. GMT on another edition of Binance West Africa Newbie Walkthrough. Thank you very
All
much
right.
and do enjoy the weekend. Bye bye.
Bye, everyone.